Hello, hello, hello. Round two. It's a good day. We're doing 2 periscopes. What's up? Hey fam. So this is Kaywanda of kaywandalam.com. This was something that I did, a photo shoot I did for Girl Rising, and I had done a couple more pics for my own website, and I realized I didn't erase the dry erase marker. It still has Girl Rising, but hey, it's a beautiful mission. I love what they're doing. I support them. And so yes, that's some of my new photos. And of course it says you can do it anyway. So this is the new site when you come to it. And then you scroll down. Hey sis, hey everybody for popping in. And then you see I focus a lot on coaching single moms. And I talk a good bit about parenting advice, especially for the working single moms. Now, the topic for tonight, I told you guys earlier, we would talk about if you are unhappy in your relationship, 5 ways to know if it's time to break up. And listen, Linda, some people don't want to hear it. This is not for the faint at heart. And so let's get into it. Let me flip this thing around. So, hey, y'all. So if you want to follow along with me, you can go to my website, kaywandalam.com. Hey, thanks for popping in. Hello, if this is the first time that you're on my scope, say what's up in the comments. Hi. And so we want to talk, to men and women, but of course, since I'm a single mom and a single mom coach, of course, I'm talking to my sisters, but it also works for the men as well. So if you're in a relationship and you're getting along, hey, and then all of a sudden something changes, the distance kind of comes in, you're kind of not as tight, hey Angel, as everybody that's popping in, as tight as you used to be. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. You know how we'll do. We'll try to bend over backwards and try to make everything work and appease the other person and just kind of try to keep those butterflies going. Hey, sis. And it just seems like something is still missing. Something is still wrong. What is it? Well, here are 5 ways to know if it's time for you to break up. So especially if the fellow is giving you something that he hadn't been giving you before, something is awry. So number 1, he refuses to grow up and be honest from the beginning. So, you'll meet some of these people. They don't want to talk about marriage. Well, I just want to have a good time. I just want to hang out. I just want to get to know you. They don't want to have any kind of real kind of discussions like, what are you looking for? We're not out here trying to date people and be in limbo forever. And so, sometimes we go down the road and we date people like that. And then we wonder why they don't want to marry us. Well, they didn't ever have any intention to get married. They told you. You just weren't listening. You thought it could change, as we all do, right? And so he refuses to grow up and be honest from the beginning. So in the post I say, how old are you? Too old to date a man who can't make a decision. Too old to date a man who can't make a decision. You can stamp 19, 22, 45, 68. Too old to date a man who can't make a decision. He wants to be indecisive. That means he wants to do what he wants to do. He doesn't want to settle down, and that's okay. Number 2, he acts like he's single with and without you. Now, I've had this happen to me, but I didn't know it was happening to me. So not the with me part, the without me part. And that's way back in that first relationship I had kids by a fellow. Didn't intend to do that either. But listen, I tell you, young and naive, right? And so I know that this person was out and about seeing everybody and anybody but me. And so if you get wind of the person I'm laughing now, you can tell I'm totally over it, right? But, and I know that some people that is super, you may be there right now, so let me respect that, right? But I'm just so glad I am free from that person. I don't know what to do, and glad to be in the space I'm in. But if you're there and your heart is hurting, I totally understand, and I want you to know it will heal. Right? And so, but do what's best for you. Put you first, right? You don't want to be with somebody who can't respect you when they're with you and when they're not with you. But let me tell you about how glad I am I'm not with that person. And so he acts like he's single with and without you. Bye, Felicia. He got to go. What are you doing? What is this? Why are you together? Why is it called a relationship? You don't do that in relationships. Number 3, he makes promises but doesn't keep them. Okay, red flag. Yeah, let's do something this weekend. So he brings it up. You're all excited. You're kind of like not trying to push the buttons. And you're like, okay, well, he's going to call. And he said, let's do something. And then Sunday comes and you're like, I thought we were going to do something. Well, I said we might do something. Oh, I said that. Just whatever. Like Playboy City, let him go. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Why are you hanging out with people like that? Number 4, he cheats on you, or he 99.9% might be cheating on you. Now, let me just say, I didn't say this at the beginning. This blog post comes from a conversation I had this week with a girlfriend who I love dearly, who's amazing. And she's been dating a fellow for a couple of years. And we had a deep conversation about kind of something she's seeing with him and things she's heard and stuff that's going on. And I said, honey, I love you, but I'm going to blog about this. So she said, I'm 99.9% sure he cheated, but I'm not sure he cheated. I said, baby, listen, that's enough percentages to say he cheated. That's enough, honey. That 0.1 ain't coming. That 0.01 is not coming. And so you need to let him go. And it's not just the, like, one time, you know. This has been something that I can tell has been a source of the distance that she's been seeing in him. And so anyway, he cheats on you, or he 99.9% might be cheating on you. Bye, Felicia. We don't have time for that. And so, number 5, you all haven't made a definite plan to marry. Well, listen, how long does it take? How long does it take, ladies? Now, I know I'm a single mom. I know a good bit of women who are on here tonight are single. Some of you have been married. Some are divorced. Some have never been married, like myself. But let me tell you something. A lot of us aren't single because we can't get married. Make no mistake about it. We're single because we haven't found somebody that we would want to be married to for a really long time. When I get married, I want to be married to somebody I trust. I don't have to have these kind of blog posts about. So I need to vet your character, A, to the men. And so don't come to people saying, well, why are you single? Well, listen, where are the good men? That's what we want to know. That's the question you should be asking me. Are you the one that I can actually be loyal to and do all these other things that I want to do, showcase the good woman that I am, and get all that back in return? That's what we want to know, Felix, okay? If not, then we want to say, bye, Felix. That's the male version of bye, Felicia. And so I super love this girlfriend, but she's been feeling this wind of change in her relationship, and we've talked about this before. And so I told her, I said, listen, honey, I love you. I'm going to support you in whatever decision you make. But if a woman has called you and told you that they done some things, but what they tell you, he could have called you in the midnight hour when he was feeling such a way. He could have came to see you. You could have met him. Y'all could have done all kind of stuff. He didn't have to call the other girl, be over to her house, or do any of those things. Thank you for sharing. And so when people show you who they are, we hear this all the time and we forget it. You have to believe them. When a man tells you he's not interested in a relationship, you gotta believe him. When he tells you, and you've been together for so long, he says, you said, we're gonna get married, I love you, I wanna marry you, da-da-da, and he says, I'm not sure. That was his answer. He doesn't wanna hurt your feelings. Now, let's say this, ladies. That doesn't mean you're not worthy of marriage. That doesn't mean you're not worthy of marriage. That doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It means you're not the right fit for that particular man. It means at that point in his life, he's not ready to get married. Doesn't matter how amazing you are, right? And sometimes people simply know that there's something in you and there's something in them that will not mesh forever. And marriage is forever. As a matter of fact, you're not going to be okay with him going to see the other girl in the middle of the night when he feels like it. Y'all not a right fit. And so I've learned that over my years, I've been in some relationships, I've loved and I've lost, and all those good things. We've talked about it over the last almost a year since we started Periscoping on Single Mom Sunday. It's been a while, right? And I say this and I'm joking and I'm laughing, I'm smiling about it, right? Because I'm not hurt right now. I know there are people who are hurting. And I want you to know that I do feel your pain. I have been there, right? And that's why I want you to know that even though it hurts, it will get better. But you have to do the right thing for you. And if you're a mom, you have to do the right thing for you and your kids. From a man perspective, why should he commit if he is getting wife privileges with the girlfriend? Brother, say it. Say it and make it plain. Absolutely. Now, let me just say this. Y'all speak out of, now listen, when I say y'all, I don't mean you. Y'all speak out of both sides of your mouth. A man, well, not all men, there are some great men out there who will wait, but you have to challenge them, and they're looking for that woman who will challenge them. And you'll say, he married her and he didn't marry me, right? Because she challenged him. That's what he was looking for. And so here's the deal. Out of one side of his mouth, well, I can't date a woman if we don't sleep together by the third day. I'm not hanging around to be with a woman who we not having privileges and horizontal poker and all of that. And then out of the other side, why should I marry a woman who who gives me wife privileges. I'm already getting everything. I agree, sir. But so ladies, you're in that paradox of what do I do? Well, you have to choose you. You have to choose you. You have to choose to love you. You don't want to be giving your body out to different people who have not, as he has, so eloquently put it, who has not made an investment in you. Agree, anything worth having is worth fighting for, absolutely. And so men are out here doing what they want to do because women let them. Let's just be real about it. A woman will say, well, I have needs too, and then she'll go and do what she wants to do. And not understanding that you're training him, you're teaching him a lesson. You're teaching him that although you're just saying, well, I'm taking care of me and I'm taking care of him in this relationship we have. But he's saying, I'm getting everything I want. Why should I do more? I'm getting everything I want. Why should I do anything else? I don't have to do anything. She just gives it to me. Absolutely. So I get what you're saying. And so women, what does that tell you? It tells you he really does crave a woman who knows who she is. And she knows what she will give and what she won't give. And so you have to decide if you're that woman. Now, let's also understand you have to see if there's compatibility. You guys have to talk about all these other things, religion and faith and parenting and rearing and finances. All this stuff you got to discuss, right? But you're absolutely right. Plus, where is the challenge? Right. So if a man's dated like 100 women, and let's be honest, these cats are starting young. So if they've been on the chase since 14, and by the time they got 18, they done had some kind of life, enjoy their 20s. When they get into their 30s, they're looking for, out of all this sea of beautiful women, who's the challenge? Who's the challenge? Hey, Chris, how you doing? I see you too. What's the challenge? I agree. I'm 38 and it took me some years to learn that. And so I just would sit back and watch. I'm not going to tell all my secrets, but I would just sit back. Hey, now, I would sit back and watch. I like to see how dudes, I have cousins, I have brothers, I like to see how they interact with women. And then I pay attention to that. And I'm telling you, ladies, get with your brothers, get with the men you trust in your life and have some real conversations with them. They'll tell you what you need to do. Not to get a man, but what guys are thinking. You were a good gal, KK. I was a good gal. I still am. And so thank you for that, Chris. So what I'm getting at with this scope tonight, guys, is I really want you to think, sometimes it's so hard to break up. But then I want you to know, what are you getting if you hold on? What are you getting if you hold on? That was the whole point. I love my girlfriend. She spent 3 years with a guy. Now we know he cheated. Come on, people, he cheated. Whether they went all the way to third base and home or whatever you want to call it, he cheated, right? And so what are you getting? Are you getting a man who cheats? Are you getting a man who loves you? Are you getting a man who can control himself? What if you have to travel for work and you guys get married? So now does that mean, oh, well, she's out of town and she's not in my proximity, so I need to do this again. I'm a man, I have needs. Or does he say, wow, I appreciate the woman that I have. I'm so thankful for her. I'm going to be faithful, da-da-da-da-da. Same thing for you. So I'm asking you, what are you getting? Is it just to be in a relationship? Is it just because you're comfortable? Is it just because you've been together so long? Is it because you're afraid to try again? Is it because you're afraid to be by yourself? What is it? Sometimes you have to let go to get what God wants for you. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And that is absolutely the space that I'm in. I do not believe that you sit down on a rock and you say, I'm going to wait right here for what God has for me. No, you have to keep living. You have to live. You have to love. Shout out to my daughter, toned into your scope, KK. Hey, Britt, what's up, girl? Shout out. And so I am just like out here trying to help my single sisters, trying to be positive. I know if you read the post, you're probably like, oh my gosh, she went in on the dude. Oh, I went in. I tried to break him in two. I hope she reads it and it's like, shakes her hands and says, I'm done with this. Get out of here, Felix. Bye, Felix. Bye, Felicia. But it's because I understand, all joking aside, that you really have to love you enough to let some people go. You really have to love you enough. And so, is it East Claire? Yes, T. Claire. Hit the nail right on the head. Let it go. Let God. Let it go and let God. Thank you guys for popping in. And so we were talking about a blog post that I wrote on yesterday based on a conversation I had with a girlfriend. And so it's not easy, guys. It's not easy. He's going to want to come back. He's going to beg. He's going to do great things. He's going to act right. Right? But how long? For how long? That's what you want to know. And then there are people, and we know plenty of, I have some close friends who had this. When they were dating in college, the guy cheated. And the girl ended up getting pregnant. Elric is my name. Hey, Elric, thank you. I remember you when I was hardcore doing Periscope last year. And so thanks for being here. And so I remember in college, he cheated big time. And she was ready to break up with him. And then she found out she was pregnant. And something about that just made him, be like, oh, I got a family now. I got to straighten up and act right. And that guy has taken care of her. She's worked, and they've worked and stood by each other, even when everybody said, you should break up with him and da-da-da, this or that. And so sometimes people can do that, and then they could make a total 180 and be perfect, And so that's up to you to decide. But if you're unhappy and you notice that something has changed, this one, she was telling me for months that something was different, something was up, and now we know, because he was trying to get some cookies somewhere else. Okay, I hope she's not watching because that's offensive. I didn't mean it like that. But he was trying to get some cookies somewhere else. Give my baby girl some good advice. Now, KK, you guys have fun. Night, night, bye. Oh, Britt, say something, Britt. Is this resonating with you, girl? Let me know. Bye, Chris. Thanks for popping in. And so the whole point of tonight's scope is I really hope that you will assess where you are, and that wherever you are, you will always make sure that you are loved, you are respected, and you are getting out of the deal what you're putting into the deal. And ladies, we have to be vocal at the onset, not ugly, not pushy, not whatever, but just, confident in who we are, and to say what it is that we're looking for. And you have to be willing to let go early on. That's one of the things that I have noticed and I have practiced. Now, if you've been on my scopes before, you've heard me tell a couple stories. And so I definitely give some real life experience. But living and loving, man, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change a thing. It's okay if you're in something right now and you need to get out of it. Just take your time. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, Elric. Take your time. Be respectful toward the other person, but also be respectful towards yourself. And if you need to release it, let it go. Let it go. You can have your conversations. They can do their begging and pleading. But at the end of the day, when it's time for you to move on. I encourage you to listen to your heart, to listen to the winds of life telling you when it's time to move. Sometimes we won't move unless there's some kind of pain or some kind of heat or some kind of hurt there. It's the truth. I'm going to be honest with y'all. So I wrote about this in my book that I published in December, so you want to grab it. It's definitely given all the juicy details, but also the redemption story, because God is so amazing. And so it's called Do It Anyway, right? The Single Mom's Guide to Living Life and Achieving Her Goals. And so I've been able to do that, raise my boys, and tackle every dream I've ever had. I'm still tackling dreams right now. And one of the things that happened is I ended up getting pregnant by this guy. I didn't even plan to get pregnant. Oh my God, I didn't plan to get pregnant. Do y'all know how much of a good girl I was? Oh my God. So I had to deal with that. And then also now, okay, I'm pregnant. So we're getting married and this is going to happen. And okay, so I could deal with the fact that I didn't get pregnant the way I wanted to, but we're going to get married, right? And we're going to raise this beautiful family, right? And this dude is sleeping around with everybody and I didn't know it. So what I'm trying to say here is I resonate with my friend's story, and because I resonate with her story and because I can see what she can't see, I'm telling her to cut her losses, right? Because most of the time it just doesn't come out the way that you want it to, but it could. He could do a total 180. And that's up to her. That's her choice to make if she wants to. I support her. But I'm saying in my situation, this guy was sleeping around with everybody, gave me these babies, and do you know, barely helped with these kids. Do you know that? But God blessed me to find the courage within. He gave me people to support me and to take care of my babies is what I did. Chase my dreams, moved on. My grandmother, she said, I don't care if you're walking down the street and you see him with another woman, you put a smile on your face and you do what you got to do. You take care of those babies. That was the best advice. I had to work at the job I was at 6 years before God opened the door to move me. And before I left, I told the story before, before I left, one of the main ladies he was cheating with, we had long since broken up. I had long since given up trying to deal with him and his, I want to make it work, my family, I love you, all the lies, whatever. And this one girl who was like the main lady he was cheating with, I bet he's regretting it now. I'm sure he is, sick of it out. She don't care. But he remarried somebody else. He married somebody else. We were never married. And so, but anyway, what God did in me, guys, is what I'm getting at. What he did in me is what's so amazing. He didn't let me leave that job until every bit of hate I had for that girl and everybody else was removed. And even for him. And so he placed her right next to me. I said, God, you showing out. You're doing too much. I know I'm a Christian, but I know you don't expect me to work next to this girl every day. The best job I can find here to take care of my 2 small babies. I know. You playing right now. Because I know I ain't got to work next to this girl. And day by day I would go in, and at first it was a fake smile. And she would just try to turn the knife in my heart. Oh, she would try to turn it. She would say, oh, he was over to my house this weekend and he brought the baby. Oh, y'all know I wanted to dive over in her cubicle and do something, and it wasn't going to be a blessing. Let me tell you, it wasn't going to be the blesser. Do y'all hear me? So this dude comes to get his kids, acts like the world's best dad, and he taking my kids over to this chick's house. What? I need you to hold me, Holy Ghost. Do you hear me? But I share this story, and I'm tickled by it now because I have no hate for him or her. My God bless you. Because I understood. God helped me to see that hurt people hurt people. That's why I'm telling you. You can love people, but you cannot change people. It shows maturity. I did not get to leave that job until he had healed me of that. And I began to be able to chat with her, and I began to be able to see her for who she was. She was just a hurting individual. She was out here trying to get her love by giving people her body. And she thought she was something because she had my man, who, by the way, was not my man, right? He was everybody's. And so she did me a favor, and he did me a favor. Do y'all know the favor that he did me, right? I didn't get to be in an unhappy relationship. Nobody had to tell me the 5 ways to know when it's time to break up. Life did it for me. Do you know I'm thankful for that? My boys haven't had to grow up with a man who wasn't yet ready to be a man, teaching them how to mistreat their mama, and therefore making them think that this is how you treat women. This is what a man is, right? God bless me when that pain came into my life. It actually ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. Can I tell you that? Right? So anyway, I pray something I've said tonight has blessed you. Y'all know I like to cut up, but I tell you, I will never forget sitting across in that cubicle thinking I am about to drag you up out of here. Oh my gosh, I was so skinny. You weren't going to drag nobody. Do you hear me? But in my mind, I was going to win. It was going to be some Bruce Lee up in there going on, but I never did it. I thought about what my grandmother said, and I worked, and I did my job to the best of my ability, and slowly but surely, something in me changed. Who knows if they've ever changed, but God bless them. I send them peace and blessings. You know what I mean? So anyway, if you want to learn how to do the same thing, grab that book. It'll bless you, honey. We talk about everything, how to help you on your journey as a single mom. If you want to win and you're underwater right now, that book will bless you. I just put it on Twitter, actually, and it's on my website. So 12 lessons that I learned in my season of singleness as a single mom. Amen. And the biggest thing of all is on that entire journey, he didn't ever change the people. He changed me. He didn't ever change the people. He changed me for the better. So I'm going to get ready to rock the life I've got. I hope that you rock yours this week. I hope you lay down tonight refreshed and thankful and just say, God, you got to just say, I didn't go through what Katie went through, just say, I thank you for where I am. I thank you for what I've been through. And I'm excited about what life is about to bring me. I will get it for my single female friends. Please do. I'm telling you, it will bless you. I'm going to say this and I'm going to let y'all go tonight. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. One of my aunt's friends who's like 60 something, she left me a voicemail yesterday and it brought tears to my eyes. She ordered one of my books, and so she ordered the book. And I wasn't expecting a call from her or anything. And she said, you know what? I wish I'd had this years ago when I was raising my son. She's married now and her son's all grown, but she said grown. And she said, that is just so amazing what you went through and what you got out of what you went through and how you're trying to help single moms. And she said, I haven't finished it yet, but I'm so excited. And I'm like, she's married. She's older. She's not even a single mom. The book, thank you very much, Angel. The book is called Do It Anyway, The Single Mom's Guide to Living Life and Achieving Her Goals. You can find it at kaywandalamb.com, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It's on Kindle, all of that. And I really pray that when you read it, you'll take your time and go through it and work the work that's at the end, because it has action steps to apply to your life. And it has space if you get the paperback for you to journal. And if you get the Kindle, then you can do it in your own journal. But I'm telling you, like when I sat down, I said, God, I want to, y'all can tell, you know, I love the Lord. I said, Lord, I want to give something that people can really use, something that folks can really use. Just type in my name, it'll come up. And I want this to be a book that a woman can walk away from saying, it's not just inspirational, motivational, but I did something with it. I applied this to my life. I will make it. That she just understands that for every season of life that she's in, there's something in that book for it. So anyway, thank you guys for that. I will try to come back on some more this week and do more of these, because you know I've been missing y'all, right? We cut up real good, but we learn and we enjoy each other, and that's what I love about our community. So I appreciate you rocking with me tonight. Honey, grab it for your friends. I pray that it blesses them and that it blesses you. And so I'll talk to you guys soon. This has been Kaywanda of kaywandalamb.com. Honey, rock the life you got. Good night.